El Camino. The most important part of this movie is that Los Pollos Hermanos is now a Twister's, and Saul's office has been replaced by Duke City Sports Bar? What is this madness? This is the worst thing ever to happen in Breaking Bad. Finally, after 6 years, we can tell all the Walt's still alive conspiracy theorists to shut the hell up. What the hell is this terrible CGI in this movie? Oh, it's a video game. Holy shit, the cinematography in this movie is amazing. Wait, were Skinny Pete and Badger sitting in replica Starship Enterprise captain chairs? You have to love the continuity in this series. They both get $10,000 from Walt, and the first thing they do is go out and buy Star Trek toys. We finally get the explanation of the BR in Breaking Bad. See, no one ever knew what BR stood for, but now we do. It's bromine. When Jesse is eating his pineapple with Walter, he says that pineapple has bromide, but Walter corrects him and he says that it's bromelain. Bromide is a compound which is made of bromine, which is an element that has the chemical symbol of BR, which is the BR in Breaking Bad. Well, I'm sure everyone loved this film just like me. I mean, 6 years ago, collectively as a nation, we decided we would treat Breaking Bad like our own child for eternity.
Maybe he dies an hour later. Maybe he gets caught by the cops. We don't know. There was 0 point for this 2-hour trip.
I remember feeling skeptical initially to hear about Breaking Bad sequel with Jesse. I thought his ending in Breaking Bad was already amazing and shouldn't be expanded on. Jesse riding off into the night, finally free, fate unknown. Sometimes a mystery is nice. But then there was another part of me, and I'm sure some of you felt this way too. But what the fuck happens to Jesse after that? We've been with his character for years and have seen him dragged through the mud too much to know that people just walk away from things in Breaking Bad. This show leaves scars on our characters, and Jesse had them literally all over his face in his last shot of the series. And an even more immediate question would be things like, how is he gonna get past those cops? Where is he gonna go? Who's gonna help him? Who will believe him? Is his ass going to jail? Answering those questions though felt dangerous. It can be frustrating when a new installment comes along and wrecks the mystery, tarnishes a good thing that's already ended on a high note, and takes the story in a questionable direction. I'm sure we can all think of some awesome stories with sequels that we got that we wish were never made. I'm not going to name any, that would just be petty. Oh, and just a quick note.
No, hang on. Spoiler alert! Okay.
Everyone's life in this show has been ruined, except Jesse. His was left open-ended. Skylar's life is ruined, Walt Jr. is scarred for life, Hank's dead, Marie's a widow, Mike's dead, Saul had to move, Lydia's dead, Todd's dead. The thought of them continuing the series and Jesse not having a happy ending was something I really didn't want to go through. This movie works because it doesn't try to be something it's not. The Breaking Bad finale needed to be Heisenberg levels of madness for it to work, and it was. But Jesse's movie needed to be based in his playing field and only what he was capable of. I look at this movie like an old Western. Mind you, the oldest Western I've ever seen was Django Unchained, but you get the picture. You got a man on the run, you got a troubled past he's trying to escape. You have your escape vehicle, you have large sums of illegal money, you have a town setting of questionable characters filled with allies and enemies.
Dude, you're my hero and shit.
You have a literal shootout in the movie Old West style. You have your protagonist coming out on top riding off into the sunset. There's so much beautiful symmetry in this movie, I don't even know where to begin. Every shot looked like it's been plucked right out of Breaking Bad universe, except now we have 6 years of better technology to shoot it on. The way this movie was written with flashbacks going all the way back to season 1 was a great vehicle for this movie to bring back important moments in his life we never saw. Some people want to complain Jesse looks too old in this scene, but my suspension of disbelief does not rest on whether an actor looks like they've aged. It's more things like, does this make sense? Would real people actually behave this way? Are the writers complete hack frauds? I promise you Vince is the furthest thing from a hack fraud. I feel like Vince made El Camino not just for the fans, but also for himself. Vince got the original idea for Breaking Bad when he saw a story about a father cooking meth in an apartment building, and ever since then he's been hands-on on every aspect of the series, and there has never been a drop in quality. He obviously shared a strong bond with the show, and I feel like him making this was him yearning to give a more concrete ending to Jesse, so that he could finally sleep at night knowing Jesse made it out alive. Just like Mike, just like Walt, everyone has a soft spot for Jesse. We wanted to see where he would end up. And one of the best parts of this movie is he ends up right back where we last saw him. Except this time, instead of driving off screaming into the desert at night wearing filthy rags, we see him calmly driving through a winter wonderland wearing a pretty sweater and a smile on his face. Hey, that kind of looks like Walt's sweater now that I think about it. There's a lot of interesting clothing choices in this movie, like when Todd decides to wear the belt after he used it to murder his housekeeper. What? It's still a good belt. What better place to keep your murder weapon than constantly on you at all times? A lot of people are saying that Todd looks, how should I say this? Fat. in this movie.
Naturally.
But honestly, they could have fixed that with just one simple throwaway line about Todd getting stung by a bee or something. Whatever, it really doesn't bother me. Fat Damon is fantastic in this movie. He seems crazier than ever, but that's just because we get to spend more time with him.
You know, Uncle Jack says, life is what you make it.
In Breaking Bad, his scenes were usually relatively short, maybe a few minutes long. But in this movie, we have to spend a whole damn day with Todd doing weird shit. The movie just adds so much more weight to the character than ever before. Get it? So much weight? Alright, I'll shut up now. I want to point out something that Todd said in one of the scenes in the movie.
Guy on KOB keeps calling for rain. Guy said like 40% chance yesterday, 60% today. I mean, I see clouds, but I wouldn't call them rain clouds.
It never once rained in the Breaking Bad series. For such a gritty drama, it's interesting how they never did a rain scene. Jesse's completely liberated from his concrete prison and able to channel everything he learned over the last 2 years into one adrenaline-fueled day. As if to signify the status quo has finally been broken. He finally wins. He can finally move on. Jesse winning that shootout was the ending we deserved. We saw him lose everything and still keep fighting. And that's how we like to think of ourselves. We like to think that if we were in the same situation, we would never give up. But Vince also took the opportunity to give us another ending we wanted, Walt and Jesse's Last Supper. It was something for us to feel warm at night. He opened the door for a few minutes and let us walk right back into the meth cooking business we all missed so much. I was literally in a trance when they were walking down the hall just seeing them together again. And then on the second viewing, wait, what the hell is wrong with Walt's head? He didn't want to shave it this time? Wait, Greg Nicotero did the bald cap? The Walking Dead guy? I mean, it looked better than Fat Damon. The most important takeaway of the conversation being this line.
You didn't have to wait your whole life to do something special. I did it for me. I liked it. I was good at it.
The Walt and Jesse hallway scene had me tearing up, but Jesse winning the shootout had me cheering like I was watching football Sunday. I forgot how I used to yell at the TV when Breaking Bad was on. This movie had no overkill, no epic trailers, no shoehorning in old faces, no cliche callbacks or over-the-top fan service. This was a deeply personal, slow-burning movie that allowed us to follow Jesse out of the dungeon that is his past and into the promising future he deserved. My official rating of this movie, I give it a Jesse-level cook quality at 96%.
That batch that you just cooked was 96%. Kind of figured you deserved a little something.
Thanks.
Well, this movie has lifted a weight off my shoulders, and not the weight of knowing Jesse is okay, I always knew that. It's the weight of never having to hear someone tell me that they think Walt might still be alive. Also, shout out to this scene.
Dude, you're on fire.
I thought El Camino was the perfect ending for Jesse. Breaking Bad was the end of Walt's story, but a lot of us cared for Jesse too. Now we know that even though it ended in a similar fashion, we can breathe a sigh of relief that he's safer, richer, and more stable than he was before. Everything that I liked about Breaking Bad's ending was still preserved in El Camino, but now with a more positive twist. See you next time, Janitor Squad.